with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
J.L. Colvin does AdamCarolla impersonation as well, by the way. So, I don't know. We're doing the news. It seems like the best time for you to do a little AdamCarolla. So maybe you can respond as me to whatever you like, J.L.
Sounds good. I'll dust it off. I hope it's not rusty.
No, yours is strong. Go ahead.
Well, I hate to start off with such sad news, but this just in, as we record this, a big R.I.P. to legendary broadcaster Regis Philbin. He has died at the age of 88, natural causes, and of course, host of numerous shows, including Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, then Regis and Kelly, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He was nominated 37 times for Daytime Emmys. He won 6.
Well, it's kind of an old Jeff Ross routine, but when you're 88, we don't need the natural causes. Like, he didn't die in a pole vaulting incident.
He was skydiving. The chute didn't open.
His dune buggy flipped over. Natural. Oh, yeah, I don't want to live in a world without Regis. Yeah. Adam.
You know, I say this with respect, but, was Regis actually talented? Did he have a real talent? I say this respectfully. You host some shows, you sit with a drunk Kathy Lee. It's, I respect the longevity, but...
Yeah. No,
Is it real? Is it really a talent?
Let me add to me. We give game show hosts way too much credit because they read the answers, but it's not like they know the answers. They read the answers. We go like, Alex Trebek, that guy's a fucking genius. Yeah, he reads answers, and Regis read a lot of stuff too. But we gave him a lot of credit for being pretty wise and sharp and everything, but all that shit's on a 3x5 card. So
he will be missed.
He will be missed. Yeah, not by anyone we know, but he's definitely going to be missed by potential family members. Although he must have a small fortune to leave behind, right?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
And also, is there any other human being ever named Regis? Is that a name? Is that a family name? Is it short?
That's a hotel.
Yeah. It didn't catch on.
Yes, that's right. His blessed dad, the Saint Regis. Yes, he shall be missed, sort of, but not that much. But look, God willing, one day some dickhead comic will be talking about me and how I died, and no one gives a shit. And they call that Hakuna Matata, the circle of life, right? What would it sound like if AdamCarolla said Hakuna Matata, JL?
Hakuna Matata.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Gina, what else?
You know who is going strong? Both of them are going strong. Phil Donahue and Marlo Thomas. I think 84 and 82, they just wrote a book about how to keep the marriage fresh. So they're going to stick around for a while, I think.
I don't want to hear... So they're married? They've been married for 50 years?
97 years.
I don't... once you get over 80, I don't want any books about how to keep the marriage fresh. I don't want to hear about you guys having sex, because I just ate, number one. Number two, you don't keep the marriage fresh over 80. You wait to die because you're too lazy to get divorced at that point, and you're essentially unfuckable to the rest of humanity. Other than that, I wish those kids well.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So we just found out that...
Hey, can I say this?
Yes.
You know how I hate my parents?
No.
Yeah, I hate my parents.
Gina's come up once or twice.
Refresh me. Maybe it's because I wasn't here last night.
My dad is going to be turning 89 in about a month, and every time I hear about some great American who died earlier than my dad, I get angry at my dad. I'm like, now my dad has outlived Regis Philbin. I mean, Regis Philbin, you got to look it up, Max Zapata. He must have been born within 7 months of my dad, and my dad had the gall to outlive the great Regis Philbin. Can you believe the gall of that man? The temerity?
He had no business.
He has no business. I'm going to tell him next time I see him, you have outlived Regis Philbin. What makes you think your shit doesn't stink? That you can outlive the great Regis Philbin. My dad, I don't know what year my dad was born or what month it was in.
I know, this has actually been a mystery we've been trying to find out for a few months now. I don't know how to...
I think he's going to turn 89 in September, so we could probably back out 89 years. But Regis must have been...
Regis was 1 month shy of his 89th birthday.
Oh, my God. They'd probably share the same birthday. I'm now livid at my dad. How dare you? All right. Now, Regis, is his wife still alive? Didn't he always talk about his wife in that show? And he had that... Max Pat will find that one out. You go ahead, Gina. But
I will.
He had that wife that he would always... They do, like, Mocha Mix commercials and stuff like that.
Joy Philbin?
Joy Philbin. Yes, they do commercials for coffee cream or something, like, from the 80s.
She's still alive. Yeah.
She's still alive.
Yeah.
All right.
Joy's 79.
Hold on. 79?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ. So my bitch of a mom has outlived Joy Philbin. Just rub it in her face. Boy, when I see those two, I'm going to let them have it next time I see them. This is an outrage. This is an attack.
You're going to give them what for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a celebrity that turns out had a secret case of COVID, was in the hospital for a while, and we're just finding out now that man's name is Mel Gibson. He revealed, that he spent a week in a California hospital back in April with COVID-19. The actor's rep said the 64-year-old was very sick, treated with remdesivir. He has since recovered and tested negative numerous times. He's also tested positive for antibodies now, but that was a super secret case of COVID.
So it's funny, like, he has simultaneously the best and the worst publicists, because some things they're really good at keeping secret from the public, like COVID-19. But calling highway patrol officers monkey nipples and little Jewesses and screaming into a telephone, you need to come to this hot tub and blow me, that they couldn't keep out of the trades. They couldn't keep that out of the newspapers. But the COVID thing, they did a good job of, mum's the word on that.
Wouldn't it be great if it was the same PR person this whole time? Like, all right, listen, I want this kept quiet, not like last time.
I wonder if he had a bad case, and then like his Jewish doctors came in, and like his anger fueled him to recover. He was like, "Get your hands off me!"
Or maybe he had a mild case, and the Jewish doctors came in and went, "Yeah, put a little tap water in that syringe and call it resmerifer or whatever that shit is. Call it just piss in that syringe and call it hydroxychloroquine, would you?" Don't mess with the Jews. They're all doctors.
Thank you.
And then later on, when there's a malpractice situation, you try to get the other half of the Jews, and they're all lawyers, and now you're really fucked.
Catch-22, man.
That's right. Sorry.
Well, this is actually, I'm hoping the President Trump can enlighten us on this. I'll just give the broad strokes, but I'm sure he could provide us maybe with some more details. The president has announced he has accepted an invitation from the Yankees to throw out the first pitch before their August 15th game against the Red Sox. Up until now, Trump has not thrown a first pitch, which every American president has done since 1910. It was Taft. Trump joked that Yankees president Randy Levine assured him he won't get booed because there won't be a crowd.
Sure.
Thoughts,
Mr. President? Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. As far as the sound effects guy, they got the cheering, the mild cheering, the big cheering. They got to have a boo button in there too, right?
I just made this point today. My in-laws are huge Dodgers fans, so we're watching a few innings of Dodgers-Giants. And I'm like, they got to have the boo button for when like the pitcher throws over first base for the third time, or
Right.
when the catcher comes out for the visiting team to talk to the pitcher, and they're like breaking up the momentum. Yeah, for sure, they got to have.
Or like the streaker gets onto the field, you know, like they gotta have that. Trump, you gonna throw out that first pitch?
I'm going to throw it very strongly. As you know, I was a great baseball player back in my youth, and I am, Fauci, little Fauci. We call him. He's like the snack size version of a doctor. His throw was so bad. I almost want to thank him because he set the bar so low. Now I'm going to throw with such heat. It's going to be, I hope I don't injure the catcher. I don't want to do that. But I got to tell you, with Fauci throwing it to 8 feet in front of him to the left, I think I'm going to look very strong when I throw that great pitch.
I'm having this fantasy of Trump going out there, winding up and throwing like a Roger Clemens type fastball, like right down the pipe. And then later on that night, CNN going, it was a little off the plate. Like it was a little, he didn't have movement in the ball. He just didn't have his stuff tonight. Yet they clocked it. It was clocked at 88. That is a AAA ball type speed. That is not. Yes, he was wearing wingtips and a three-piece suit, but if you can't break into the 90s, you have no business on that mound. Yes. Sorry. And they checked the ball. Turns out it was doctored. They found a little pine tar and some Brill cream on there. All right. So so Trump, you're gonna go out there and throw out that first pitch. You played in high school?
I did. I was a very strong baseball player in high school.
Uh-huh. Now, there's a lot of controversy, speaking of high school. Did you have someone take your SATs so that you go to the Wharton School of Business?
No, this is of course, from the nasty niece, a fake book.
Fake book.
What happened was, here's what happened. I was going to take the test, on a Saturday, like everybody takes. Mm-hmm. And my great father, Fred Trump, came down the stairs and he said, "Sir," even my father called me sir when I was in high school. And he said, "Sir, you don't have to take the SAT. They already want you in the school. You're too smart." Mm-hmm. So he sent an Asian student to go to the school and tell them on my behalf that I didn't have to take the test. So that's, so he went to the test, and I assume told them, and I went to great schools.
So he didn't take the test.
Clears things up.
And take it for you.
Oh, no. My father said, "Sir, this kid is going to go and just deliver a message." Nobody took the test. I didn't have to.
Okay. That's a lot of very formal family that your dad would call you sir.
Well, it's the respect. It's everybody. The generals never called the president sir until I got elected. Now all they say is sir when I walk into a room. So it's just I bring more respect and honor to the office, I think, than we've had in a long time.
You classed up the joint for sure.
I really did. With that, I don't see a huge table of fast food with any other presidents.
That's true.
Right, that's true, yeah.
You got us there. So I know we talk, there's a lot in the zeitgeist lately about, body positive, everyone's beautiful. And I got to hand it to this woman because I think they might be right. A 56-year-old woman from California, she's technically from Calabasas, a neighborhood not too far away, made her debut in Sports Illustrated's Swimsuit Issue. Holy moly. She's 56-year-old. We're looking at a picture of her. Her name's Kathy Jacobs. She's been married for 25 years. She has a daughter in med school. She said in an interview that a year and a half ago she was sweeping hair off the floor at a beauty salon, and she just decided to take some pics and submit herself to the magazine. And she's hoping that this will lead to other opportunities because she says old is gold.
Old is gold?
Old is gold.
Yeah, well, look.
I mean, damn. Look at that body. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's true, but we're not out at 23-year-olds to fuck, are we? I mean, if we're on an island and there's only 56-year-olds to fuck, then she's number one in line. But as long as there's still 23-year-olds, then it's a wonderful achievement. But I mean, It's like when once in a while you'll be at like some pickup game and at the YMCA, and there'll be some 46-year-old dude, and he'll be able to dunk a basketball still, but he still wouldn't make the cut for any NBA team, and that's what I'm saying. So it's a wonderful achievement. But how old did you say her daughter was in med school?
She's in med school.
Well, see, that's where I'd like to kind of shift the direction of the conversation. Because if the apple don't fall too far from the tree, that daughter's the one you want to keep an eye on. And by the way, can people stop pretending like they just sort of tripped and stumbled into modeling? Like, well, I went down to the beach and I got my underpants and I took a few pictures. I didn't know what would come of it. Really? Has anyone ever had that impulse? I'm going to just go down to the beach and get my underpants, take a look pictures. I didn't know what would happen. Why'd you fucking go to the beach and take pictures if you didn't want this to happen? You know you're hot. Admit it. You're hot. She's hot.
Fine, I'm hot.
Right, you're hot. That's what it is. And
okay.
And for 50, but she's been married for 25 years, right?
Yeah.
So that's got to be a pretty good deal for that guy, right? Because that's a
Mr.
pretty...
Jacobs.
That really hasn't dropped off in 25 years, right?
She would ace your wedding gown initiative.
Yeah, my wedding gown initiative is... you guys got to help me with this because I may have forgotten it, but you get $1,000 to spend on a wedding gown. For every $500 you spend on it, after $1,000, you have to fit into it for the next 5 years. So I know it sounds horrible, especially with all this Me Too shit, but I'm just saying, my wife's wedding gown, I don't know, it was like $2,800. And now I have to pay to store it, which is, you have to pay for like temperature control storage. And then they always do this thing where I go, I'm renting a tuxedo. You're spending $2,800. You're only going to wear the gown once. And every chick goes, what do you mean? When our daughter walks down the aisle, she's going to be wearing this gown. And I'm like, really? Why aren't you wearing your mom's gown? I just did the fucking math. Oh, by the way, I'm sure this gown that's 31 years old will be in style when my daughter goes down the aisle.
This beautiful mustard-colored macrame gown.
Yes, I'm sure of it. Yeah, with a big jizz stain on the front of it now. No daughter wants to go down the aisle with daddy's jizz and a big Rorschach test. No, I'm saying no daughter. This shouldn't be offensive. No daughter wants daddy's jizz Rorschach. Jizz Rorschach on the front of her gown.
Who could disagree with that?
That's right. Sorry. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, here, let's get you a good one. Here we go. Back to school is right around the corner, and whether they're going in or not, they're going to have to pay some sort of tuition. So the Satanic Temple is here to help. The Satanic Temple is offering scholarships to high school graduates. And Adam, I think this is something you could really get behind. It's a Salem, Massachusetts-based group. They advocate stricter separation of church and state, and they have $500 for the Devil's Advocate Scholarship to any 2020 graduate. Here's how you apply. Students must answer one of two questions. One is they have to describe what they've done to promote the organization's mission, or you can describe a teacher who crushed your spirit, undermined your confidence, and made you hate every minute you were forced to be in school. And you could do it as an essay, poem, or film, and hopefully you'll get yourself a $500 scholarship.
I had, how many bad teachers did you guys have versus good teachers? I feel like I had 3 good teachers and 128 bad teachers. And every time everyone wants to go, these guys are heroes. Actually, this is an interesting thing that would probably go over well in Texas. We have our teacher and cop ratios all fucked up. We live in a society where, there's a bunch of bad cops and a couple of good cops, and the reality is there's a bunch of good cops and a couple of bad cops, And then we go, these teachers are all heroes, but there's a couple of bad ones. Most teachers fucking suck. There's 3 good ones. Apply the fucking same ratio that Black Lives Matters does to cops, but just do it to teachers. If, by the way, any of them will ever agree to go back to work. None of them, my kids, none of those teachers are going back. Like, it's after January. Like, my son is going to walk into that classroom when they eventually agree to go back to school, and I'm going to be like, Sonny, it's time to go back to school. And he'll go, okay, I guess I better shave my beard and get my prostate checked if we're going in. Where's my stroke cane? And then he'll go, and I'll be older than Regis. Who was outlived by James Carolla. Sorry, yes?
I was going to say it might be good for team sports, though, if he goes back as like a 19-year-old ninth grader.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. No, he's going back like Forrest Whitaker went back to high school in Fast Times at Ridgemont. Yeah, that'll be my son. Yeah. There'll be a bunch of guys playing JV football that are 27 years old. All right, Gina. Sorry.
I just want to ask real quick, do you remember any of the specific insults, Adam, I know you do, that teachers gave to you? Because a classic one that was given to me, and I was given a lot of them because I was a real bad student, a real dummy. But one of them said to me, and I was well into my high school years, said, Gina, your parents buy you books and paper to go to school, and all you do is eat the goddamn crayons.
Wow. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I had Miss Commissar, who was like in her 80s, say to me after class, and she said, Adam, you're a funny guy. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, and all the girls like you, she said, which I was like, no, they do not, but you're on a roll. Keep going. And then she paused and she said, do your parents beat you? And I was like, no, I don't know what your observational skills are after presiding in front of students for the last 47 years, Miss Commissar, but you've learned nothing. My dad's never never put a hand on me. I did also have Mr. Smith tell me, he looked at me, he went, you know, Adam, you're awesome. And I went, well, really? Thanks. And he went, yeah, sometimes you're good, and sometimes you suck. I was like, I felt good for about 8 seconds. I had Mr. Tomey explain to me my counselor explained to me like really condescendingly when I was like, I want to take Mr. Jeffrey's history class because all my friends and all like the cool kids and the popular kids are like taking Mr. Jeffrey's history class. So could you get me into Mr. Jeffrey's history class? And he literally gave me a sit-down conversation like, that's a little too much class for you, Dumbo. Like, those kids are normal kids. Where's your dunce cap, boy? You going to that class. He makes you do work. Like, you're going to fail horribly because you have to do stuff in that class. I remember lots of those. Yes, Brian?
I got one that's in that caliber. So my history teacher was also the cool history teacher, like my sophomore year, and Mr. Bertetta at Sarah High School. And I, of course, totally abused his trust and was acting up every day. And for the 10th time I got in trouble, I came home to my mom already home. And she goes, Brian, can you explain this? Presses play on the answering machine. It's Mr. Bertetta leaving a message, a lengthy message that includes the phrase verbatim, Brian is one of the worst students I've had the misfortune of teaching in my 22 years.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, misfortune.
JL, you had any bad ones?
No, not that I can think of. But to ruin the story, the only funny story I have from school is in 3rd grade, I was 5'2", and my teacher, Miss Schoen, was 5'1". When I was 8 years old, I was 5'2".
You're what, 6'6" now?
6'7". 6'7", yeah. So, yeah, you can't tell from this screen.
No, you can't.
But no, I don't think I've had any. I mean, I've had like mediocre teachers and good teachers, but I don't think I have any sort of awesome. I went to private school, so I guess there's more of a vetting process there. So.
Not public. All right, Gina, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.